Hello, hello, everyone. We are live. There we are. So excited. We've got a couple hundred people here. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We got folks from all over. All right, we will get started. Oh, look at that chat go. Hello, everybody. My name is Sam. I'm the senior product marketer here at Close. We're really grateful to have you all here today. Excited to just jump right into the reasons you're all here. We won't delay. We're going to get right to that value. Getting a sneak peek of our 2025 product roadmap. So thank you everyone for joining. A couple housekeeping notes. We're going to be about 45 minutes today. We'll try to keep right on time. Brendan, I'll keep you on it, but if we go a couple minutes over, folks, feel free to join. We will absolutely send a replay link immediately after. Whether you joined or not, you'll get the replay. And our product managers and support staff are here in the chat. We've got George, I've seen Matt in here, I've seen Melanie, so thank you everyone for joining. So feel free to ask questions in the chat. We've got staff who are fielding all your questions there. Chat is open. And if you have a question that's not answered or you need time to digest, feel free to join the Close customer Slack community. I'll post the invite link here in the chat in a second, just so that you can join that. And then we'll also have a 1-minute survey that follows via email, and I'll post it in the chat at the end. We would love your feedback. We're going to do more educational content and possibly another roadmap preview, depending on what you all like and what feels good to you. So let us know. And with that, I'll pass it over to our CEO, Stelly. Welcome to the stage. Passing the mic to you if you want to give a warm welcome to our customers.
Welcome. Well, usually I log in from Greece these days, but right now I'm actually in New York. We're doing a deep dive product session. Brenton this morning was still with us, and now he's back in Boston. So first of all, super pumped that you are all here. That you're all from sort of all around the world. Welcome from wherever you're logging in. This is the first one that we're doing in a long time. I'm being hazed by our VP of engineering. They're all making fun all around me because I'm in this webinar. But I just want to say, first of all, huge thanks to Sam for organizing this and being a huge champion for us getting closer to all of you, to our customers, sharing more about our future plans, involving and collaborating a lot more with all of you in what we're planning to deliver and build for you. Brent, obviously, is our new sort of head of product, and he's already making a tremendous impact in what we're delivering and how we're building it. I'm super psyched that we get to sort of parade him around and show off with him to all of you. And I'll say that in the past, for those of you that have been customers of following us in one way or another for a long time, we've always been very shy. Some would say hyper secretive. Or inflexible about sort of showing our cards and making any future forward promises. We never did a product preview webinar. We never shared or talked about any of this because we were always super concerned about making promises we might not be able to keep or telling people too much about what our future plans are. But, it's time for change. I think we're super pumped about what we're going to deliver and what we're building, but also a lot more pumped about sort of how excited you all are to be part of that journey, to give us feedback, to help us to try things out early, to be real partners of how Close evolves and develops in the future. So this is one of many, many more to come in the future, and a great kickstart to us being hopefully closer to you, working with you, and delivering tremendous value. So I'm super psyched, and I'll give the mic now to the one and only Brenton, but thanks all for taking the time, and we're excited to hear all your feedback and work with you on the future of Close.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Stelly. I appreciate the intro. Guys, I am super excited to be here. I have sort of spent my whole career helping small businesses grow using software, using technology, and Close has this incredible set of customers, really wide set across tons of industries. I see a bunch of names in the chat that I recognize. So those of you I've chatted with, it's nice to see you. Thank you all so much for joining. We got a ton of questions and engagement when we announced this roadmap webinar. So I'm addressing a whole bunch of those questions in the course of the deck. And then we've got some reserved for Q&A at the end. But like Sam said at the beginning, throw some questions in the chat. There's that questions button at the bottom, I think, too. You guys can use those. Our team is standing by. They'll be able to address things that I won't get to in the deck. And like Sam said, I would love to be doing these a little bit more often, right? If this is, I hope, the first of several that we'll tackle. So my goal in this one is to kind of tackle like the next, call it like 6 months or so of the Close roadmap. It's not quite that neat. I'll talk a little bit about some things that are a little farther out, but definitely want to talk more about things that are coming down the road, and give you guys a little bit more insight. We also, Sam will talk about this, I'm sure, but we also have a website going live that will show a little bit of our roadmap on an ongoing basis. So even some of those like smaller details that really matter to workflows that maybe don't quite make a presentation like this, those will show up on that website so you guys can see those things and see what's coming down the road. So with that as my little preamble here, I want to start by really quickly just acknowledging Close's mission. This is a phrase that I heard on my first day here and have said at least weekly, often multiple times a week since then. Our mission, the thing that gets me out of bed every morning, like I said, my whole career has been doing this. How do we double the sales performance of every small scaling business? We want to make sure that everything that we are launching makes your team more effective, more efficient. And you'll see as we go through this roadmap, I think we do a pretty good job delivering on that over the next 6 months or so. So everything, as I go through, as I talk about these roadmap themes, I hope that you come back and realize that this is the thing that motivates our team. We want to make your businesses grow. We want to make your teams more effective. That's the thing that, like I said, gets us out of bed in the morning. So with that, there are 4 roadmap themes that I'm going to cover over the course of this presentation. We'll reveal each one by one. Like I said, though, there are a whole bunch of things that I am not going to have the time to get to in a half-hour presentation. So here's my one big slide with all of the other things. Some of these I know are really highly requested features that we're excited to launch. There's going to be more coming. We are excited about things on this list, but really wanted to keep the rest of the presentation focused on some of the biggest items that are coming. Yeah, like Stelly says in the chat, all the things. Cool. All right. So diving into our roadmap themes, our first theme for the year is expanding Close's communication tools and making them amazing to use. The thing that, if you go back in Close's history, Close really started as like a sales communication platform, right? It was all about making the team more productive by aggregating communication in one place and then layering on all of these great CRM features that you all have come to know and love. But that system really only works if we're aggregating as many communication channels as we possibly can and get all of those into the Close ecosystem, especially in a world of large language models and AI, where we can then do a whole bunch of interesting things on top of all of those communications. So we want to be pulling all of those in, and then we want to make them amazing to use. We want to make sure that you want to be doing your email in Close because it is the best place to do your email. You want to be sending your texts from Close. You want to be making your calls from Close. So those tools need to not just be there. They need to be great. You need to feel like you want to use them. And that's the thing that we want to deliver on. So to that end, I will start with our biggest expansion of communication tools that I think we've had, at least certainly in my 6 months, and I think probably for a couple of years before that. I'm super excited to announce that we will be launching Close Note Taker later in Q2. So Close Note Taker is a meeting bot that will join your Zoom, Google Meet, and Teams meetings. It will record and summarize all of those meetings, similar to kind of how you might experience Call Assistant today. There are a bunch of you I know who are using third-party tools and things for things like this. Those will continue to work. We're not doing anything with those. But for those of you who want to use Close Note Taker, it'll be a great integrated experience. All of the things that you know and love about Call Assistant, but now for all of your meetings on Zoom, Google Meet, and Teams. So we're really excited about this one. Pricing for it is still kind of to be determined. We're still working on that, but our goal is we want as many of you using this as possible. So it's we want to be pretty reasonable with the pricing for it. So we're really excited about Close Note Taker. As a special thank you for the several hundred of you at this point that are listening to me live here today. All of you will automatically take your email addresses and register you for early access to this. So you will get access a little bit before the rest of the general population of Close as a thank you for being here today. So I appreciate it. I hope you all are excited about this one. I'm really excited about this one. I think it completes a big missing piece of the Close puzzle. And we'll be able to do a whole bunch of interesting things with LLMs and AI on top of this in the not too distant future. Now addressing the other half of that equation, right? Making those tools amazing to use. Again, we want to make sure that you want to be doing your calls, your emails, your texts all inside of Close. We want to make those experiences better as much as we can. So first up on the list is automatic email drafting. This is the thing that we're doing early exploration around right now. We want to draft responses to your emails that make sense and sound like you. Now, we're not going to be sending those emails automatically, at least not yet, right? We need to make sure that we're going to hit a certain quality bar. And at the end of the day, we also just believe, and I'll get to this a little bit later, that really high leverage communication is just going to stay with humans. We just don't really see that stuff going to AI. But there's a lot of low leverage communication, simple responses, people asking for scheduling links and things like that you can probably just draft an email and with AI, and you guys might send it without making a single change. You might send it making just a couple tweaks to words here and there. Again, we want to make your teams more effective, make your teams more efficient. We can get really good at drafting emails for you. That's a really big lever that we can pull to help us on that mission. So working on that. Second bullet is improved call dispositions and outcomes. We want to do a better job handling things like unanswered calls and how we report on all of that stuff. We want to make sure that you can report on pickup rates easily and just do a better job acknowledging, hey, this call was answered, this call was not answered, this call went to voicemail. Whatever the situation was, we want to make sure we're automating as much of that workflow that's around that as much as possible. And as we get into workflows and automation, you'll see that that's a theme that carries through a lot of our work this year, is just how do we take things that are right now maybe manual tasks and automate them out of your way so that you can focus on higher leverage things. Third thing on this list is improved inbox management. We're still very, very early in discussions on this, haven't done too much exploration, but is a big priority. We want to make sure that we are directing your attention towards higher priority work. Inboxes can get very cluttered. So if we can move you towards focusing on the highest priority stuff first, that would be great. Long term, I'd love to see us move in a direction where we're helping you batch tasks, right? Where you can focus on getting all of these similar calls done all at once, right? So you're in that mode, you can execute on that mode, and then you can switch modes to a different mode. Again, make your team more effective, make your team more efficient. And then the last thing on this list, one that is a massively requested feature that I've been hearing about for my 6 months here at Close, are some improvements to the Calendly integration. The big change here, there's a couple things coming with this, and you'll see a bigger announcement when it's ready, but automatically creating a contact when a meeting is booked. We want to, as much as possible, avoid you having to go back and forth from tool to create leads and close that didn't exist when the meeting was booked, and now you have this sync issue where your calendar doesn't quite automatically create contacts when the meeting is booked. So Calendly integration, there are a ton of you that use Calendly. I think you'll be very excited when we launch this in the not too distant future. Cool. So that's our first theme, expanding Close communication tools, making them amazing to use. Close Note Taker is the headline feature here. We're really excited about it. I think it's going to be an absolute game changer on the to how you all communicate, how you use Close, and a massive tool in our tool belt as we look towards this future of LLMs and AI that we can then build on top of and do a bunch of interesting things with. Our second theme for today is a massive expansion of workflows and automations. Like I have been saying, and will continue to say for the rest of this presentation, we want to be automating away for you as much of the work that's not super high leverage communication, closing deals work as possible. So we have a ton of improvements planned to workflows and automations. The big picture there, like I just said, reduce any work that's not closing deals, right? Let's get that off your plate so that you can focus on the stuff that actually matters for growing your business. Second, we want to be reducing the need for tools like Zapier. Now, some of you are using Zapier to connect to other parts of your tech stack, and that will continue for some period of time, though, of course, we'd love to pull more of that into Close, so you don't need another tool. But also, some of you are using Zapier to do things within Close, and that's just a thing that is Close letting you down, and we don't want to be letting you down by making you use a third-party tool to do things that Close should just do on its own. So we have a whole bunch of improvements that I think are going to massively eliminate the need to use Zapier to do things inside of Close. Third, we want to expand the power of workflows by 10x. We have a whole bunch of ideas for how to do that. I'm not going to go too much into this now. It's much further out there than some of the things that I'm about to talk about. But just know this is the path that we are on, right? We are on a path of not just making these tiny little incremental improvements to workflows, though we're going to do that, and they're going to be important, and they're going to matter, they're going to be really useful. But we also are looking at a couple really big swings that'll take us much, much, much further than we are today. The goal for workflows and automations broadly in Close is that it is a tool that is very simple on the surface. And if all you need to do is enroll someone in a workflow and send them some emails, it can do that. But if you want to use it to automate huge chunks of business processes and workflows and things that are happening in and around Close, around your business, we want it to be able to do that too. So simple on the surface, more powerful when you dig in. That's our North Star. So to that end, over the course of the next quarter to 2 quarters, we have a whole bunch of new triggers and new actions coming to Close. So on the new triggers front, you'll have triggers based on custom activities, triggers based on opportunities, and triggers based on contacts. And on the new actions front, you will have an action to update lead, actions to create opportunities, create custom activities, and send Slack messages. For those of you who are particularly eagle-eyed on my first slide that had a whole bunch of little things that are coming, one of the not so little things on that slide is also we're looking at something like webhooks as a way to hook Close workflows into other things. So these are all getting a little bit farther out, but I think are massively powerful and will do a lot of things, do a lot to unlock your integrations with the rest of your tech stack. So hope you're all excited about this. I'm really excited about this one. Let's give a couple examples really quick of what you might do in practice with some of the new workflows and triggers. So you might, for example, choose to automatically update leads and create opportunities when a custom activity is published. You might create and assign tasks every time an opportunity is won. You might send a sequence of emails, SMS, calls once an opportunity is closed. Maybe you want to send a Slack message every time some event, maybe it's a new lead, opportunity won, something like that occurs in Close. Or maybe you want to update a lead or a contact using AI autofill. And some of you are immediately going, what is AI autofill? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to get to that a little bit later. I'm very excited about AI autofill. So this is the beginning of us moving workflows. Workflows is always going to be a great communication tool where you can set up sequences and enroll folks and try to get certain outcomes from the workflows tool. But we also want it to be a really good tool for operational workflows that does things in Close and automates away, again, as much of that stuff that you don't want to be doing manually so that you can focus on the higher leverage activities. That's the direction we want to head. So there's a lot of coming that I think is going to unlock that. So that's our second roadmap theme. Massive expansion of workflows and automations, whole bunch of stuff coming. I'm super excited to see what you guys build once we put this all in your hands. Our third roadmap theme is making it easier to get started. Now, there are a bunch of you, based on the registrations, who are listening today who are not current customers of Close. And some of you, I think, are customers of Close now because you were customers of Close at a past company, right? I've talked to a lot of you for whom that's the case. So the next time you go to your next company, or if you're a new customer who hasn't signed up yet, we want to make it much easier to get started with Close and get Close up and running in a new place. So to that end, there's a couple of things that we're doing to help you get data in. Potential contacts is a feature we're really excited about. We launched in late February the ability to bulk import potential contacts. So what that means is, the vast majority of you have emails coming in, have leads coming into your inbox. We want to make it easier for you to get those into Close. So for the bulk import that we launched in February, there's a screen that you can go to where we will look at all of your emails and identify a bunch of leads that we think are in your inbox but not in Close, and give you a one-click ability to import all of those leads. That's really useful. A lot of you have found a lot of value in that, but we want to make sure that we're also doing that on an ongoing basis. So what we're going to be launching later in Q2 is potential contacts in inbox. So you'll be able to see as those emails come in from things that we think might actually be leads or contacts in Close. You'll be able to one-click, you'll see those in Close, and you'll be able to one-click add them as contacts. So we're really excited about this. We think it's going to help you have to do a lot less back and forth of running from your email to Close and back to your email and back to Close, or using some of you I think use Chrome extensions to do things like this today. We want to eliminate the need for that. Just have it all live in Close the way it should. Second, we have made a whole bunch of improvements to the actual onboarding experience. The biggest is we updated it with a step-by-step guide to getting started on Close. So when you first come in, there will be a nice step-by-step, do this, then do this, then do this. Make it much more straightforward. Understand that you're not going to miss any key things. And we will, over time, be tailoring that more and more to the things that you have told us matter to you. So if you come in saying, I need to migrate from another CRM, we will make sure that that lands on your Get Started screen. If you have all of your emails in your inbox, that is going to be on your Get Started screen. If you've told us that a really important thing for you is using Close for workflow automations, we're going to make sure that we highlight workflows for you on this screen so that you can get set up much more easily. Close is really powerful and has a lot under the hood. I think we do a pretty good job of presenting all of that power in a pretty simple way, but we also want to make sure that we're not presenting it so simply that people are just missing things that they should be doing that would help them grow their businesses better and leverage more of what Close can do for them. So this is all part of a long-term vision for making sure that customers don't miss things and leveraging Close to its full capabilities. But we do have a future vision for what we want onboarding to look like, and we are just taking the earliest steps in this direction now. So I'll talk at a high level about it, and then maybe on our next roadmap webinar, I'll have a lot more to show on this front. Our future vision for onboarding at Close is an AI-driven onboarding process. 2 steps. You talk to Close AI and tell it about your business. We'll ask you some questions. You'll talk a little bit about it. What kind of business do you run? What's important to you in the business? What kinds of processes do you run? Right? We just want a better understanding of your business. Step 2, Close configures everything you need to get started. And that's it, right? We will set up pipelines, we'll set up workflows, we'll set up templates, custom fields, activities, whatever it is that we need to set up in order for your business to have the perfect setup in Close. We will take an initial swing at all of that for you. Now, look, are we going to get it exactly right out of the box? Probably not, right? We're not going to get all of the wording of all of your email templates exactly how you want them, but we will create some great starter email templates for you that you can then tweak a little bit. We will create some great starting workflows based on what you told us about processes that are important to you, and then you can tweak those a little bit. I certainly know when I use software in my life, sometimes I sign up for a new SaaS tool and I end up with this like blank page syndrome, right? Where it's just like, what do I need to do here? How do I get started? And I think there's a lot of, really, we can do a lot of the heavy lifting for customers by saying, look, you don't have to start all of this up from scratch. We're going to set you up with a couple of things that we think are valuable. If you want to delete them, go ahead, delete them. If you want to add some new ones that you think we missed, add some new ones, tweak them around the edges. But this setup process should be a lot easier than the one that we have today. So we're really excited about this. This is something that we're going to be working on and launching hopefully in the second half of 2025. Great. So that's our third roadmap theme, making it much easier to get started. For those of you who are new customers, I hope this makes the process of getting up and running with Close much simpler, much easier, much less intimidating. Of course, we have a wonderful team here who is also totally willing and able to help you get set up to the degree that you would like to use them. Our fourth theme, the biggest theme, the one that I am the most excited about talking about, is AI that enables you to focus on closing. When we sent out the initial thing about this webinar and we got a bunch of those questions from you guys, the number one theme from all of you was, what is Close doing with AI? Now you've seen us do a bunch of stuff already, right? We've got lead summaries, email summaries, a whole bunch of other things in Close that AI is doing, right? Transcripts, summaries, all of that stuff. But we're just scratching the surface. So there is a ton more that we want to do with AI in Close. We're not going to talk about all of it today. I'm just going to highlight 2 really big features that we're really excited about today. But there's going to be so much more coming. Instead, before I get to those 2 features, I want to talk just a little bit about how we think about AI in Close at a very high level, because different companies have different approaches to AI. And my hope is that if I can communicate to you how we think about AI in Close, you'll sort of get the direction that we want to go with it longer term. So point number 1 on our approach to AI is we have a belief, and Stelly has talked internally a lot about his really strong belief that, look, in the future, it's not just AIs selling to AIs and sending mass emails and AI summarizes the email and then responds to the email. Like, that's not the future of selling. The future of selling at the end of the day is still humans selling to humans. And there's going to be a role for humans selling to humans all the time. And there are a lot of other CRMs out there that are going to try to build the AI account executive that handles everything and there's no salesperson in the flow at all. We don't think that's the best way to sell. We think the best way to sell is with relationships and with strong understanding of customer needs and a strong ability to tailor your solution to customer needs and tailor your pitch to customer needs. And we just think that humans are best suited to do that and best suited to grow your business. You are going to do a better job growing your business than AI is going to do growing your business. So what that means for us from a product standpoint is high leverage communication stays with humans. Now, look, there might be some low leverage communication, right? You've got some old leads that are cold and have been cold for 2 years, and you want to see if any of those are still interested. Maybe there's a role for AI in communicating with those leads until they get to a certain level of interest. But high leverage communication, we think, still stays with humans. And then second point, you've heard me say this over and over and over through this entire presentation. We want AI to create more time for you to sell. Anytime you're not spending closing is an opportunity for us to have whatever it is that you are doing instead be automated away by Close in some helpful fashion so that you can spend more time closing deals and growing your business. So that's our vision for the first key part of our vision for AI and Close. The second is AI needs to earn its place. There are a lot of companies out there right now that are, some of you, I'm sure, run software companies that are running into this problem now where everyone's kind of wondering, like, what do I need to do about AI, right? How do I get AI into the product? I definitely need to have AI on my website at least 5 times, maybe 10 times, right? AI has to show up. And you end up with this experience where people are just kind of plastering AI everywhere going, if they had the words machine learning in their thing, they got rid of those. It says AI now. Like that's absolutely happening. We need to get the experience right, though. You can't just plaster AI everywhere and hope it works. Start with actual customer problems, actual workflows that you think we can solve, and then we'll use AI to help solve those problems. AI in Close, the target for AI in Close is that it should feel like a superpower. We want it to feel like we just doubled your effectiveness, doubled your efficiency, that there's this little assistant who is sitting at your side, who knows exactly the right next thing to do and is able to execute on that task for you. We want it to feel like you gained superpowers. And anything else, any attempts to just kind of throw things in there, that's not going to land. You'll see us try things with AI that we think are really great, and then we roll back because they just don't hit. We're not going to be shy about doing that. We're going to try to experiment. We're going to see what works. We're going to need a ton of feedback from you. It's been great, all the feedback that we've gotten so far. You'll see some ways to submit more feedback down the road later on in this presentation. So this is our vision for AI. The future is still humans listening to humans. And if we're going to launch AI stuff, it needs to earn its place. It needs to be really solid. It needs to come from a place of a deep understanding of how you all work and what you need from us. So the first feature that we are excited to talk about today is a feature we are calling Call Insights. Call Insights is Close AI listens to every call. It surfaces key trends across objections. It's looking for competitor mentions. It's going to unlock coaching insights, improve team and rep performance, and it'll help you understand customer sentiment. Right? It'll show highlights from recent calls. This is going to be something that we're going to build on top of over the course of many future quarters. But just to give you an example of how it might work, if you look on the screen here we're looking at objections, and you can see at the top, this processed 241 calls. Now, I don't know about you and the teams that you run. On a given week, I do not have time to listen to 241 calls. I just don't have the time to do it. And I'm sure that any one of you who runs a sales team now is thinking to yourself, honestly, I should probably listen to more of my team's calls than I have time to do, right? I should be doing more of that. And anytime that phrase happens, like I should be doing more of X, there's probably an opportunity for a technology solution there, and maybe AI in this case, because AI, of course, is very good at listening to calls, very good at understanding transcripts and trying to draw meaning from those things. So in this case, in the screen in front of you, it's 241 calls processed, and the top objection by frequency was perceived complexity. This looks like your solution is complicated, and I am objecting to it because it's complicated. Well, that was brought up, 36 times on the slide? And in each of those, for each of those mentions, we will pull out the piece of the call that you can listen to where that objection happened. You'll be able to see a quick summary of that interaction, see what the person said, and then you'll have buttons to take actions on that immediately. You'll be able to create tasks. You'll be able to do follow-ups, like whatever the action is that you sort of need to do, go talk to the sales rep, right? Whatever it is, we'll give you the ability to take actions right from there. So this is based on some underlying technology that we're using to extract insights from calls, and we have a whole bunch of things that we will do down the road for this. Obviously, it's got great implications for your ability to coach your team and develop your team, and just gain a better understanding of what is happening around your business on a day-to-day basis. So this is a really exciting piece of technology. Call Insights is just the first piece of it, but we're really excited about what we're going to do with it in the future. The second AI feature that I'm excited to talk about today, I spoiled it a little bit earlier intentionally, is AI autofill. AI autofill is quite simply the ability to fill any field with an AI prompt. You create the field, you give the AI a little bit of guidance on how you want that field to be filled, and next to that field, you'll see a little icon that you can click, and you can go send your own personal research assistant off into the sky, and it will comb all of the clouds to try to find an answer to the question that you asked in your guidance. So we're really excited about this. We think, again, wanting to give you superpowers, feel like there's a little assistant who's running off and doing things that you don't have time to do. Let's give you a couple examples of how AI autofill is getting used by customers who are already in the beta today. So Example one is automatic lead segmentation. So I might have a field that is called industry segment, and I am in the transportation and logistics industry. And I give it the prompt, hey, search the URL for this lead. Identify what part of the transportation and logistics industry this company operates in. Pick from one of the following options: freight and trucking, maritime shipping, air transportation, airlines, et cetera, right? So those of you who use traditional lead enrichment tools, which, by the way, is a thing that we can see ourselves layering into this feature in the not too distant future here, those lead enrichment tools, have a set of fields that they are populating that you didn't necessarily get to customize, right? That list is whatever it is. But if you can have this really specific, no, I actually need to know specifically what subsegment of this industry, what services they are, et cetera. Like, I want to know all of that. You can create your own custom prompt from AI. AI will go figure out whatever it can figure out and come to an answer. And next to any answer that the AI gives, you'll be able to mouse over and see what is the confidence level of this answer. Is it a low confidence answer, a medium confidence, or a high confidence answer? And that gives you a sense of how much you can trust the data that the AI was able to find, running around the internet on your behalf. Example two, ICP qualification. Every one of you, I'm sure, has some definition of what your ideal customer looks like. And a lot of you, based on the data, have a field like this in Close today. And we can automate a lot of the filling out of this field with AI autofill. So evaluate if this person fits our ICP based on information from Close and the internet. Return yes if they meet all criteria. Return partial if they meet over half the criteria. Return no if otherwise. Here's our ICP criteria, right? Amazing ability to take a thing that is probably a manual task for most of you today and say, just go find the answer. Just go find the answer, AI. Come back. Tell me what you found. Right? Populate the field here. Our goal is that this is going to be a really, really powerful thing that saves you a ton of time. And my last example, again, it's your 24/7 research assistant. So maybe I'm in the insurance industry and I want to research what types of services this particular company offers. So research whether or not this lead sells life insurance. If they don't, respond with not offered. If they do, research some additional types of life insurance they sell and return them in a comma-separated list, right? This is now amazing actionable data, right? If I want to go find all of my customers who sell auto insurance, I can do that very, very easily. And AI gathered the data. I didn't need to spend the time or have an intern or somebody go off and do this, right? I have an intern. It's in the cloud. It's a sky wizard, and it just does all of these things for me. And I don't need to worry about it. We think that's super powerful, and I hope you're excited about it. So that's AI autofill. Fill any field with an AI prompt. It's in private beta now. We're expanding that beta just a little bit over the course of the next couple of months. It will release this summer. Pricing for this is still TBD. We're still dialing in exactly what our underlying costs are. And then obviously our pricing will be based on that. But we're really excited about this. Again, making your teams more effective, making your teams more efficient. That's the theme. And I think hopefully you see that theme spread across all four of these themes, right? We want to make your teams more effective, more efficient. We want to double the sales performance of every small scaling business. That's the kind of thing that gets us out of bed in the morning. That's why these are the four themes that we're targeting for this year. There are a few more mysterious classified projects that we are really excited about. Some of these may be AI related that are going to help us understand, help us connect to other things in the AI ecosystem, things that we're really pumped about that just represent for us a continued commitment to Close integrating as much as possible with the rest of your tech stack. And making sure that, we're going to continue to support our internal AI stuff and the ChatGPT stuff that we've done and all of these things. Like, we're going to continue to support all of that. But we have a long-term commitment to AI here, and definitely interoperability with the rest of the systems is a really key piece. Great. With that, I want to just spend 2 minutes on our long-term vision before I move on to Q&A. We talk a lot about it. I'm sure you guys, use the phrase a lot, like you do your customer relationship management in Close. That's the way things have been done forever, right? You go on a call, call wraps up, you fill out these 12 fields in your CRM, you move on to the next call, you go from task to task, filling out your CRM as you go. And you do all of your work there. You spend a lot of time clicking buttons and a lot of time following various processes. That's how things have been in the CRM world for a very long time. Steli introduced a while back at the company this phrase CRM by Close that has really struck a chord internally and is very much a theme that we are striving towards. And the idea behind it is just that we want, like I've been saying, we want you to be spending more time closing deals, and we want you to be spending less time doing the things that aren't closing deals. So whether that's workflow automations, whether it's AI being leveraged in certain ways, whether it's things like, taking notes on calls so that you don't have to take notes on calls. Our goal is customer relationship management by close, not customer relationship management that gets done in close the way it's always been done in every CRM for the last 10 years. The future looks really different. And we think the close doing more on your behalf is how we deliver on that. So I'm going to move on to Q&A, but before I do, I have one more surprise. I have seen this in the chat as it's been scrolling by at least 5 times so far. We've had a ton of customers ask for this. It's something I am very, very excited about. I personally will turn this on the moment it is available in close. And that is that later this week is our target. So it's coming very, very soon. We will have dark mode in close. We are really, really pumped about it. Like I said, I'm turning this on the moment it's available. I've wanted this for ages. Took us a little while to get it out, but we're pumped about it. It looks great. It's going to, I think, be easy on the eyes for all of you guys. Love the excitement. That's fantastic. I'm pumped about it too. With that, thank you all. Appreciate you all joining. Like I said, this is hopefully the first of many of these. Keep the feedback coming. There is an opportunity here to sign up for some betas. You can fill out that form. We've got some of the things I talked about on the list. Signing up for the beta doesn't necessarily mean you'll get in the beta. We do have a limit on the number of folks that we want to have in those things. But please sign up if you're interested. We are always interested in having beta testers, even for things that are coming out in the future. There's a link there to our new roadmap page and a 1-minute survey that. And Sam, I don't know if you want to talk about that, but we are very, very excited about it. Hope this was exciting for you. I think I love the opportunity to talk to as many of you as I've gotten to talk to. If you're ever interested in just chatting with me and giving feedback, there are ways that you can submit feedback through the product. And we're always looking at those. They come into a Slack thing that the whole product team is monitoring every day. So we hear the feedback, we see it. Please keep it coming. I appreciate all the excitement. And let's move on to Q&A. Sam.
Cool. Okay, so this popped off in the chat a bit as well, but we did not talk much about opportunities. So let's talk about opportunities a little bit.
Yeah.
A generalization of a very common question that came in was, when will we be making opportunities more customizable, searchable, giving more love to opportunities? Do you want to talk to that for a second?
Yes, totally. So we have a bunch of things planned on opportunities. I'll talk very briefly about a thing that's still very much in the prototyping phase. I didn't put it in the deck because it is so much in the prototyping phase, but there's this task of like opportunity management in close for a lot of you that takes a lot of time and airspace. And we also have noticed that there's a lot of cases where your opportunity board has just kind of, we'll say, like fallen into disrepair, right? It is not a thing that is being well kept up. You have all of these dead opportunities in there. So there's a thing that we're looking at right now where we are leveraging a set of rules in AI to look at your opportunities and help highlight for you ones that maybe have stalled out and need to be closed, or ones that need your attention as quickly as possible. I realize that's not, specific like searching or filtering or tagging, or like, we have a bunch of things that we know we want to do around the UI experience for opportunities as well. But the task at hand, we also see as just this broader task of managing your opportunities and making sure that you are not losing track of things that you shouldn't be losing track of. So that's where we're going first. And then the sort of more like UI driven management piece that will follow.
Great. Okay. And as always, please feedback. I mean, we love the feedback that helps us improve how we are approaching opportunities and any updates there. Okay, let's talk about, we dropped WhatsApp and LinkedIn activities in the mentions here today. Do you want to speak a little bit to like the challenges that we've faced with that? And like, we hear you all loud and clear that these are essential business channels for communication. So do you want to talk to what we have faced in our approaches there and why we may be pivoting the way we're pivoting?
Yes, totally. So LinkedIn and WhatsApp, I talked about at the top about aggregating communication and how important that is. That is still the case. We very much believe that is critical. And we know that LinkedIn and WhatsApp are massively important channels. We very deeply explored doing very deep integrations with WhatsApp and LinkedIn. The challenge is that neither of those services wants to be integrated with in the ways that we wanted to integrate with them. And for those of you who maybe are on top of the news around the sales tech stack world, LinkedIn in particular has been very aggressive about bans and shutting down integrations that they didn't approve of, and have levied fairly steep penalties on companies that have integrated with those tools in a way that they were not supposed to. So our approach is going to be a little bit different. What we are going to be doing is launching new activity types for WhatsApp and LinkedIn, and we will allow you to populate those activity types however you would like. If you would like to populate them manually by syncing information over, you can do that. There are a number of integration partners that we have that have really nice ties from a integration standpoint with WhatsApp and with LinkedIn. If you leverage any of those tools, they will have a really nice new integration path to getting WhatsApp and LinkedIn content into Close in a really nice way. So our goal is basically to enable those integrations to exist and have them done in a nice way, but we're not going to be building any direct integration ourselves, at least not right now.
But absolutely exploring as much as we can there. We hear folks loud and clear that this is
absolutely.
This is
it will be the top
sure.
of our list if it becomes a thing that we can do, for sure.
Yeah, that those companies allow us to do. Okay, let's talk about role restrictions. We had a couple of questions beforehand, a little bit here in the chat. Will there be any changes to detailed restriction of user roles or lead visibility, potentially beyond just the enterprise plan?
Yes, great question. So I would say, broadly speaking, more granular permissions is a thing that we are paying attention to right now, actually. We had a meeting last week about some of the changes that we were making on making permissions a little bit more granular. I would say we're still too early in our thinking there for me to announce anything specific that is coming. But I'll just say at a high level, we've seen all of the feedback around the need for more granular permissions and allowing you to just be a little bit more intentional about who has access to do exactly what in Close. And we are taking some steps in the next quarter or two to address some of that feedback.
Great, thank you. Okay, and last question, we got 3 minutes left. I want to get everybody out of here on time. We did have a question about like issues or errors have seemed to increase significantly over the past 2 months. That was a question that we got calling, especially. Do we want to speak to app stability and our approach and investment in that as we're like building all of these other crazy cool features?
Yes, absolutely. So reliability is very much top of mind for us. We have seen the issues that have happened recently and are paying a lot of attention to making sure that they don't happen again. We do pretty thorough postmortems after every time one of those things happens and take steps to make sure that thing can't happen again. We are there's the old business story around like you book a night at the Four Seasons and they have all of these nice things and they do, the sheets are amazing and they have this amazing service and everything's incredible. And then you go to take a shower and the water's cold. Like, we get that you have to get the basics right before you can start doing any of this other stuff, because none of the other stuff matters if you don't have the basics of reliability working. So we understand that. It's very much top of mind for us. We're taking steps.
Cool. Okay, I think that's all we have time for today. 10:44, everyone out of here on time. Thank you, everyone. Like I said, the survey will be in the follow-up email along with the replay link. Feel free to share it with anyone at your team. I think you'll be able to just share the link versus them having to register completely. But we thank you all for joining. And I dropped some more follow-up things here in the chat. Join the Close community. Check out close.com/roadmap. Again, these will all be in the follow-up emails as well. And we'll hope to have another webinar this summer. So thank you, everybody, for joining. Excited for all your feedback. And thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.